Time now for Joy News Interactive.
You've done well.
I didn't steal your line.
You didn't steal my line.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to the news. Please join us on facebook.com/Joy News on TV. We're on Twitter at Joy News on TV, and our WhatsApp line is 0560800000. But we don't have WhatsApp today, so let me apologize for that in advance. But let's get on with our stories. And I don't know about you, but my lights have not been stable for about 2 weeks. On Monday, April 4, the Ghana Grid Company announced a 2-week shutdown of the FPSO power system, and that the situation would ease up by this weekend when the plant is restored. But it looks like Ghanaians will have to deal with the inconsistent power supply a while longer, or at least till the end of the month. But here's a question for you. Did we say goodbye to Dumsor too soon?
Where I'm living, I can say no, but some of my subordinates at work is telling me it's back. And if it's back, then it's really bad.
How excited were you in a moment when you felt Dumsor is all over, like you sleep in lights? How excited were you?
It was a wonderful experience. Especially on my side, my son, you see. My son is 3 years, and then, in fact, whenever there's light out, in fact, he can't sleep at night. Dad, our light is off. In fact, it was something different, okay? As if you are living in hell.
I don't really think it's over because sometimes we still experience it. It felt okay, like very nourishing. After sleeping in the dark for some time, maybe we felt like the lights were back, and then we were going to feel that comfort we felt some few years back or some years back. But if it's gonna come back, then it looks like we are going back to the doom. So I don't really feel excited about the fact that it's gonna come back in 2 weeks' time or something. Yeah. So it's just like preparing to meet hell again.
For now, I don't know. We experience it once a while. Within some months, we experience once a while. I don't think it's back. It's just that maybe some power fluctuating and other thing. That is why. Internet is very bad. So when I heard it, it was like a heaven day for me. It was very, very good time because when you are going to sleep in light, you know, this heat and those things, it wasn't easy for us. So when I heard it, it was a blessing for me as an individual.
Yeah, somehow, because looking at the situation right now, seriously, in my house this morning, our light, it is this morning from yesterday, our light is off, and I learned the ECG people say we should pay 1,500 before they can come and fix the light for us. So I feel that ECG, like, Dumsor is back. I felt so cool because I felt like Dumsor is over, but I think all of a sudden it's back. I'm surprised.
And we also asked people how they felt when they were told that Dumsor was over. So those were some of the comments there. Israel, you have the press release that has come out today and what people are saying about it. But
right, so the press release essentially says that it simply confirms something we've been experiencing in the last few days. The assuring thing or the gratifying thing is that it is not as terrible as it used to be. I mean, it's not as terrible as those days when we used to go for like 24 hours and 48 hours without electricity.
But then you still don't know when it's going off.
Yeah, you still don't know when it's going off. And it doesn't stay on for too long, at least from what I'm experiencing. All right, but they're saying that these are temporary. And my understanding of the situation is that we're not shedding so much load, about 50 megawatts, thereabout. But people clearly are not excited about it. Well, Dennis says, thanks, Mr. President. Dumsor is over. Why? And Chief Manasseh says, why should the president lie to Ghanaians in the first place that Dumsor is no more? In fact, we are in leadership crisis and incompetent Mahama must go to save Ghana. And Nantoma says, I, John Dramani, and he quotes something that the president said. And he goes on to say, this is a result you get as a country when the president resorts to propaganda as its main tool to operate. And it's high time Ghanaians stood against this incompetent, corrupt, insensitive, and family and friends administration. The earlier, the better. And Amme says, the wrath of God and that of the good people of Ghana is waiting for anyone that is working to make JDM administration fail. All right. Mahmoud says, where are we heading to as a country? People at the helm of affairs will never promote policies that will bring relief to the masses, but rather interested in activities that result in hardship and suffering. And Draftfor says, JM told the whole world that Dumsor is over. Little did he think that his accession is not ear predicament, but high problem. All right, let's get to Twitter. I know there were some comments also that came through on Twitter. I thought President Mahama said he has fixed Dumsor, not knowing he has been managed. Someone needs to be competent. We're tired. And no other, at least I see no other. All right. So what's, okay, you have WhatsApp too. I guess I can go back to Facebook.
You can go back to Facebook and read a couple more comments.
A couple more. So I have, Patrick says, November 7, I cannot wait for it to come. In chat says, bad president ever, bad leadership. Prince Nurudin says, anytime we experience Dumsor, I always pick my voter's ID and start laughing because I know John Mahama must go come November 7. And Jonathan says, Load Management Committee should be bold enough to tell Ghanaians the return of Dumsor. And Benoni says, who in Ghana did not foresee this coming? It's normal. Why are you amazed? Incompetence sentinel. Incompetence sentinel, Ajibebia.
Oh boy, Ghanaians and their very interesting comments. But let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be talking about food. Please stay. Welcome back to the interactive segment of the news. Now, Israel, I love food, don't you?
Well, you love food. Yes, I know you love food.
But don't you love food? So you don't like food?
I do, but I don't love food.
I know you love your evening kenke once in a while.
Yes, I do.
And sometimes some Indomie once in a while.
Yes.
Yes, so you do love food. What do you mean you don't love food? Ghanaians love their food and most people don't waste it at all. I mean, the burnt parts of certain foods is what people even cherish the most. Now, a lecturer at the food department, at the Department of Food Science and Technology at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Mrs. Gloria Anka Brew, says we should be mindful of eating burnt foods, especially rice and banku, because it can cause cancer. She's also cautioning against using polythene to cook. Now, all these, she's saying, can introduce carcinogens into your bloodstream. And you know, this is not the first time this has come up. So has it or does it have any effect on your eating habits? Will you be giving up that kanzo anytime soon?
Maybe I think I'll believe what he's saying.
Upon hearing this, is it going to prevent you from taking your kanzo? You like kanzo, right?
I like it. So maybe I'll have a second look at it and then not take it too much. Maybe I'll eat. You know, it has stages. We have the dark one and then the light brown. I'll start taking the light brown one and leave the dark. But it's better he makes it public so that we will know where it's coming from. Yeah.
Well, I am not a scientist, so but probably it's true. But that's psychologically it will affect my taking of kanzo because kanzo I like it, especially when I was a youth. But now that I've heard this thing, my interest in taking that product will reduce because they are the scientists and they say that will be the effect. So for now, I have to advise myself as to how the rate that I will be taking it.
And don't go too far. As I'm saying, Wache has been in the system for quite a very long time. You see, and we cannot do away with Wache in Ghana. You understand? Go to the places they sell Wache, even those in high, positions. They go and kill with their ties and even their coats. When it is not coming from any medical institution or from a medical board, we will still continue to take it.
Oh, I normally take it, but so far as I've heard this, I'll just put stop to it so that it will not affect me.
To my understanding, I realize that the Wache assay, that we call it kanzo, it doesn't give any disease I know, but what I know is, if you know you are a typhoid patient or whatever, you need not to take it because it consumes more fat and oil. I love taking my kanzo, but if you know it is not good, your consumption, don't even damn it. Yeah.
But for you, you won't stop?
Yes, I will not stop.
Well, I love the guy who said he would take it in moderation, you know, that there's the light kanzo and then there's the dark one. And so he's going to take the light brown kanzo. What are people saying on Facebook?
Shiftman says, Yo mate, oh, how I will miss my bent and guamu with pepper stew.
Ooh.
And Dovi says, Coco lecture. Oh. And Godfrey says, please, researchers don't scare us because so many people can't live without kanzo. I'm one of them. I'm a kanzo legend. Oh, wow. And Yin says, I hope kanzo is not included. But
burnt food.
About burnt food. Yeah, Gift DM says, oh, can't do away with my burnt rice. Oh. And Osikeni says, what are burnt food, please? Oh, Osikeni.
Kanzo.
Maybe Osikeni is trying to show that, you know, he doesn't know what burnt food is.
Kanzo, even roasted plantain, you know, there's one that's really burnt.
He's Osikeni, so it's alien to him.
He's above that level.
Nami says, talking about kanzo is harmful. I just want to ask that how will those in the various villages get this information? Okay, I'm not sure. Yeah, they're watching Joy News too. So yeah, they're watching Joy News Interactive. They'll get to hear. Emmanuel says, burnt food is very delicious and have no adverse effects. So I will not consider that decision. Mahmoud says, in Ghana, we eat what we have and not what we want because cost of foodstuff are skyrocketing at Hussein Bolt rate. Shani says, I'm the king of kanzo. I see. Uram says, I could only afford kanzo back from in my elementary school days, even up to SSS, and I can boldly say, though from poor background, I was one of the best in class. So where from this research? I'm just asking. And Parkwesi says, hey, does it mean I can eat my kanzo jollof? And Jeremiah says, kanzo be what some of us can afford to buy and also eat and be satisfied fully. Addicted to kanzo. And Al Bayan says, I think we must listen to the advice of the lecturer because most of our sicknesses are from the food we eat. And Garrison says, I'm addicted to kanzo. This is going to be tough.
Isha, remember when they said one time that cane cake can cause cancer?
Because it gets a carcinogen.
Yes, I think the main point is the way you cook food. If your method changes the structure of the raw food so much, then it's highly likely to give carcinogens than, you know, so you eat as close to nature as possible.
All right.
So that's my little research that I've done.
All right.
Anything on Twitter?
Nothing on Twitter. We don't have any comment on Twitter regarding the kanzo bit. Okay.
All right. So this is how we'll wrap up on the interactive segment of the news. Thank you so much for your company. My name is Ifo Akwa Harrison. Please do enjoy your weekend. Good evening.